What's up guys, it's Revenge here, coming at you today with our new series that we're going to be bringing out called Port Radar Placement. In this series we'll show you the best ways to use your port radar effectively for you and your own team, and the best places to use your port radar for the most map coverage. Also we'll show you the best way to counter port radars using Ason and other methods, and also the easiest and most efficient way to destroy port radars. While active, the port radar creates a radar that pings every 3 seconds. It creates a beep noise when it pings that lets you and your enemies know that it's there. When it pings, if there's an enemy within it, it makes a second noise to let you know. If you're using Assassin, you do not pop up on port radars, and if you're trying to kill it, it can take up to 100 points of damage just like players. I'll be showing you different perk layouts that could help you throw the equipment further. First of all, we'll start off with Quick Draw and Stalker. Quick Draw obviously making you throw equipment faster, and Stalker making you run faster while scoped in. Alright, this is where we'll be throwing the equipment from, and as you can see I'll throw it flat, and we get a bit of distance on it, not very far, probably only a few meters. That's probably the least efficient way you can use to throw equipment. If you throw it at a bit of an angle, a 45-ish angle, it will go a lot further with minimal effort. And finally, if you throw it at about a 55 to 60 degree angle, you'll get the furthest distance at a standstill. While walking, you'll obviously get a lot further distance as shown here. It's a simple way to increase the way you throw it, but if you throw it flat, you can see that it won't go any further. Put it at a bit of an angle, and all of a sudden the distance you can throw is greatly increased. Finally, if you put it at the 65 degree angle-ish, the best way to throw it, you'll get it the furthest. As you can see, that's probably the biggest throw we've done so far. Sprinting provides the same distances as walking, despite what some people think. However, as I'll show later, there is a way you can sprint and flick the throw to make it throw further than we currently are. As you can see, jumping while throwing it will actually increase the distance, but not while looking at a flat angle. If you look at a 45 degree angle, you'll get a greater amount of distance, almost as good as the walking distance, and we'll combine this later with sprinting to provide the greatest throwing distance that you can use with a port radar. Alright, here you can see that I'm sprinting, flicking and throwing, but that time I threw it at a bit too high of an angle. If you get it just right, and you throw it at about a 55 degree angle, you can get the furthest distance possible. As you can see, I threw all the way to the ute, and you can throw a tiny bit further than that. Now onto Quick Draw only, which if you haven't guessed provides the same results because you're throwing the equipment at the same speed, but we'll like to test while moving in case Stalker affects that. Now the reason Quick Draw is useful while throwing equipment is that you can do the sprint and flick technique much easier with Quick Draw because it throws in half the time. So while running and jumping, you can see I can flick and throw the thing in the same motion, whereas as soon as you take Quick Draw away, it becomes a much more timing while jumping, as in you have to throw it a lot earlier. But as you can see here in a second, you'll notice that I'm throwing the same distance as Stalker and Quick Draw with just Quick Draw, so Stalker is crossed off as not really affecting the port radar distance. However, don't feel obliged to use Quick Draw, as it's not a necessary perk to increase the effectiveness of your port radar or even the ability of throwing it in the distance. As you'll see soon, I'll show you some non-Quick Draw throwing, and I can throw the same distance. However, it is a tad harder and a bit more time to get used to it because you have to throw a lot earlier, but the distance doesn't actually change. You can throw at the same distance as with Quick Draw and without Quick Draw, so no reason to sacrifice your second perk for Quick Draw if you don't feel like using it. Of course, you could put Assassin on so that other port radar users can't see you. Alright, on to non-Quick Draw, which is obviously to show you the actual fact that you can throw it just as far without Quick Draw, and also to show you the different technique in throwing while moving. I'll only use the sprinting clips like in the last one because the actual distances between perks doesn't change, unsurprisingly. And here we go with the clips. We're sprinting and throwing without Quick Draw, or without Stalker as well, and as you can see I'm getting similar distances, but I don't actually hit the max distance I hit with Quick Draw because I do agree that it's much harder to throw without Quick Draw, like I said before, because you have to time the flick much better with your throw, but it is possible and there's no change. As you can see here, I'll throw the port radar down and I'll shoot it with my MK twice, and the MK does over 50 damage, so it states that the port radar has only 100 damage points to take. And of course, one of the good ways to kill it is by crawling up to it and knifing the actual port radar, but this requires you getting close, so if you don't have Assassin, I don't recommend doing this. And finally, I'll show you killing it with the pistol, which only does 49 damage at max, and so it takes 3 bullets to kill. Also, I wouldn't recommend shooting an unsilenced weapon to kill the port radar, as it pretty much gives the same benefit to the user of it. Quick tip, if you've got an EMP grenade, throw it at any port radars and it will kill it if it hits it. Great way to take care of it. And just like any other equipment, sitrep can see it from a short distance away. That just about sums up the first episode of the port radar placement series. Next episode will be on the map Hard Hat, and I'll show you some good spots that you can hide your port radars so no one can kill them, and to put them to cover the most amount of the map. So I hope to see you then. This has been Revenge. Cheers.